everybody plays games. Let's not act like that's not real. When a dirty old man comes at you, do you think that little white girl, the 25 grand a cheap girl, meant half of the stuff that she was saying to Shannon Sharp? Of course not.
All of this shows that Sean Combs is a terrible guy, but it doesn't amount to RICO. I am one of the people who argues and debates that a lot of this shows RICO. And, you know, Kid Cudi seemed to have a lot of stories that matched up with the predicate acts to RICO. Did you agree or disagree?
I'm here to stand in solidarity with all of the survivors of Diddy and for the agenda for cruelty-free artistry to be something real. There's too much pain. There's been too many victims. There's too many survivors.
Do we think he did it? Heck yes, we think he did it. But I don't know if that's enough to prove arson as one of those crimes that they've alleged was part of his RICO criminal enterprise.
Just when it seemed the controversy around Diddy couldn't get any bigger, Jaguar Wright reportedly stepped into the legal spotlight with claims that shook the courtroom. Sources say she didn't just show up, she allegedly delivered never-before material to prosecutors, sparking serious concern behind the scenes. What began as another high-profile case took a darker turn, with Wright positioning herself as a first-hand witness to manipulation within the industry. Walking in with purpose, she made it clear, she's not just speaking out, she's aiming to expose everything.
I was the only person there speaking for the victims except for the prosecution. I was the only one there to stand in solidarity, other than the prosecution. Looking around at all the YouTubers, interloping, begging, waiting in line to get into the court so that they could gossip, or should I say, misinform the public of what's real. Thank God for court transcripts, because I can honestly say that there would be 80 million remixes if it wasn't for that. I had to be there. And not just that, I was there as a reporter myself, as a journalist myself. I needed to be there to document that first day. It's one of the most important parts of my journey for cruelty-free. But I wanted to be there and make prayer before everybody got there. And just reach out to the prosecutor as they came up and let them know. You have platforms that are backing you. We're praying for your success. And that moment with her was awesome. I prayed for her. I prayed for her safety. She told me that she does the same for me. And I asked her, the most important question there was to ask, are you ready? She looked me in my face like I called her on a bluff, and she said, yeah.
The trial unfolds. Jaguar Wright is weighing in with her perspective on the courtroom drama. She claims the revelations aren't surprising, insisting they echo truths she's been speaking on for years. In her latest commentary, Jaguar unpacks the defense strategies, from claims of addiction to emotional outbursts, and doesn't hold back on her views. She even draws pointed parallels to the R. Kelly case, questioning why similar patterns in testimony and public reaction aren't getting more attention. To her, this isn't new, it's a cycle she's been calling out all along.
Already spoken on. That's the thing. Anything that's about to be said in that courtroom, I've already spoke about at length here on this couch.
Front door lock, unlock.
Are they saying anything different than I've already said that they be doing?
Yeah, you're right. You're on it.
How many times have I said? This is wakil. They wakil. And everybody knew about it. I could have sworn to God I said that 1 million times. Everyone knew. Everyone. So no, I'm not surprised at anything he had to say. I'm not surprised at anything that Cassie is saying right now. What I do find interesting is that everyone is acting so surprised. What will I say about what he said? I think he's telling the absolute truth. Like when the opening statements in the defendant's case start as, Well, my client has drug addiction and he suffers from jealous primal rage. I mean, yeah, he did these things, but it really wasn't that bad. Everybody loved him and they wanted to be loved by him in the manner in which he likes loving people. What did I say about R. Kelly? Do y'all remember that? The first time we did the blue couch, after the chair, when it went from the light wall to the couch with a light on it. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Love and year. Love and year. Yeah. How is this any different? Is nobody realizing that a lot of the testimony that we're hearing against the diddler right now, very similar to the things that people were saying about R. Kelly?
Yes.
Why is nobody paying attention to that? Why does no one want to look at what's right there?
But hold up, it goes even deeper. Jaguar Wright didn't just call out the usual suspects. She dropped a curveball, Ryan Leslie. If you forgot, he's the Ivy League producer who once had the industry at his feet. According to Jaguar, though, there's a darker side to the story. She claims he was the one who introduced Cassie to Diddy. She suggests it wasn't just a music connection, but a calculated move that led to deeper consequences. What's got people talking even more? Leslie's silence. Since the lawsuits broke, no comments, no clarifications, just quiet. And in a world full of questions, silence speaks volumes.
Telling people not to care about her baby. He said Mary Magdalene was a whore. And he compared her like, and y'all better not be affected by that baby bump. Whores have babies too. Who says that?
Wow.
Talking about he knows where her family is from because he's from New London, Connecticut. And everyone wants to keep barreling down on Ryan Leslie. It's funny. I talked about the whole Ryan Leslie connection. Ryan loved Cassie, bragged about it. Cassie just testified. She has tattoos on her body from Ryan Leslie. But nobody ever talks about how that relationship ended and how her relationship with Diddy began. You know, Ryan was blowing up. And after him and Cassie separated, gone. I wonder why. If Diddy has ran around and threatened every other man that was interested in Cassie while he was busy her, neglecting her, confusing her, why wouldn't we think that he put the moves on Ryan Leslie? I thought it was interesting when he did Drink Champs, because he just recently, not that long ago, did a Drink Champ interview with Nori and them over on the Peer Pressure podcast. I was shocked to see that. I didn't understand the relevance. I didn't understand why he would do anything for a network that was affiliated with Diddy. I didn't get it. Didn't make any sense to me. Not at all. But what I do know is this. Diddy has a history of bullying women into relationships with him and bullying men away from the women that he desires to possess.
She's still not done. Jaguar Wright is naming names. Big ones. From Jay-Z and Beyonce to Mary J. Blige, Rick Ross, J-Lo, and 50 Cent. She's pointing fingers where few dare to look. Her claims go beyond gossip. They feel like direct accusations against an industry culture. Meanwhile, Kid Cudi recently testified about a break-in and arson at his home, and suddenly, Jaguar's past warnings about deeper networks and hidden agendas don't sound so far. She once spoke about rituals, handlers, and dark secrets shielded by fame. Now with federal raids uncovering strange evidence and real crimes entering the courtroom, it begs the question, was Jaguar revealing the blueprint all along.
Kid Cudi testified about his home being broken into, his car set on fire. We've also heard from a male escort who testified to creating, quote, scenes with Cassie under the direction of Sean Combs, and then Diddy's former assistant who testified to seeing Combs another girlfriend. Which one of these three men do you think potentially had the most impact?
I actually think it's Kid Cudi, and that's because the things that he is testifying to brings us outside of the realm of domestic violence and these kind of crimes that we've been hearing a lot about. Remember, in a racketeering case, they have to show a criminal enterprise and these ongoing criminal predicate acts that we refer to them as. Something like arson, something like that car bombing that Kid Cudi testified to, the break-in, residential burglary, all of those things start to paint the picture that this is far more than just a incredibly jealous or a man, that this is someone who is willing to extend beyond that and commit crimes, and that I think is really moving the needle as far as the racketeering charges go. All of this kind of fits into that overall scheme of a criminal enterprise, but I think when the government starts to extend beyond the freak-offs and beyond the they start to paint a fuller picture for the jury of just really how this person operated like a
Jaguar Wright has been unwavering in her mission, speaking out long before recent headlines began swirling. She's been vocal about what she claims happened to Bryce Shear, showing a determination that sources say stems from wanting the truth known no matter how uncomfortable. As legal pressure mounts around Diddy, Jaguar has made it clear she believes the public needs to understand what really happened. For those unfamiliar with Bryce Shear, he was a rising talent, charismatic, gifted, and featured on a major TV show. According to Jaguar, he had the potential to become a major star. But somewhere along the way, his path took a devastating turn. Some online sources have suggested he's now struggling publicly, a heartbreaking shift from the future many once envisioned for him. The question now isn't just what happened, it's why. And who may have failed to protect him.
He's always saying little slick stuff. And don't nobody ever figure he needs to be subpoenaed for any of it. If we go back and we think about things that he said before Cassie filed the lawsuit, right before Cassie filed the lawsuit, he was talking about how Diddy used to send videos of Cassie getting partied on, getting freaked off on. And he said he called him and he said, hey, have you seen this? I thought this was your girl. I thought you loved it. Oh yeah, she loves it. She loves it. Whoopty whoopty woo. Yada yada yada. That was evidence of a freak off that he had footage of. Why was that not subpoenaed? And if he knows so much, why isn't he a material witness? I don't get it. Everybody's so interested in hauling me off the court to force me on the stand to do this and to do that. But this man is sitting over here, he's been dry snitching for almost 2 years straight. And he's not a witness? Why not? If you have knowledge that the Jigga Man helped the diddler boom boom Kid Cudi's car because he didn't want his property messed with, which was Cassie, why ain't nobody asking him to come testify about it? Why is he not being called in? Like all of this, oh, I'm gonna sit on Instagram and I'm gonna just shoot a shot and I'm gonna do this and then I'm gonna sit back and watch. And yet, please, this is serious. People have been hurt. People have been destroyed. Now you just want to be the lineup king, Curtis, huh? How can we line you up everything you did with Soulja Boy? Who is that? Being used as a dog whistle against DDG.
Connection between Bryce Shear, Diddy, and reportedly even Will Smith was said to have begun through what was presented as a mentorship opportunity when Bryce was just 17. According to reports, his manager at the time, Charlie Mack, had high hopes envisioning Diddy guiding his music career and while mentoring him in acting. On paper, it sounded like a golden opportunity for a rising young star. But according to Jaguar Wright, what unfolded behind the scenes was far from what was promised. She alleges the mentorship was deeply exploitative, leaving Bryce emotionally broken and far removed from the bright future he once had. Her claims paint a haunting picture, one that raises serious questions about who was really protecting this young talent, and what the true cost of fame can be.
I think we're all in shock. Everybody knew about the Diddy parties and the after party, but we didn't know about the after party, right? Apparently the after party were these freak off sessions that were very selective, very coordinated, according to Cassie's testimony, very coordinated by Diddy, and it's not something that we knew about. It's just shocking. It's shocking to know that all of this was going on for years. It was shocking to know that, people were witnessing certain parts of the but they weren't privy to the nature of this. And, this wasn't like an everyday couple. Diddy has been in the spotlight for that whole time. And the fact that we knew nothing about these counts that he was orchestrating, it's just shocking.
Jaguar Wright saved one of her sharpest critiques for 50 Cent, and it wasn't about his meme. According to her, he's been dropping cryptic hints for years, suggesting he knows more than he lets on, while steering clear of any official testimony. Jaguar didn't mince words. If he's not a witness, why not? If he really has the inside scoop, why isn't he being called to speak under oath? She's calling out what she sees as a double-game public commentary without accountability. And she's not just coming for Diddy. Jaguar says this is bigger, something systemic, something deep. She's naming names with the intensity of a warning, claiming this isn't just scandal, ... It's a reckoning. The industry, she says, is being shaken to its core.
Being treated like a worker.
Yeah.
Being disrespected. All of the things, God bless Alex Fine. God bless Mr. Fine. Nobody has really thought about what this must be like for him. The second that him and Cassie pulled up in New York, they already had YouTubers, like ex-bad boy cheerleaders, who still bragging about being loyal to the Diddy, calling her a whore, telling people not to care about her baby. He said Mary Magdalene was a whore, and he compared her like, and y'all better not be affected by that baby bump. Whores have babies too. Who says that?
Wow.
Talking about he knows where her family is from because he's from New London, Connecticut. And everyone wants to keep barreling down on Ryan Leslie. It's funny. I talked about the whole Ryan Leslie connection. Ryan loved Cassie, bragged about her. Cassie just testified. She has tattoos on her body from Ryan Leslie. But nobody ever talks about how that relationship ended and how her relationship with Diddy began. Ryan was blowing up.
And this is where it gets personal. Jaguar Wright isn't just calling out Diddy, she's going after the entire circle that stayed silent. Yes, that includes 50 Cent. She claims he's been hinting at the truth through memes and cryptic posts for years, yet goes quiet when it's time to speak under oath. To Jaguar, this isn't just celebrity drama, it's about real people, real lives, and accountability. Enter Chopper, formerly of Bad Boy South. In a striking interview, he opened up about his experience, the broken promises, the missing payments, and the betrayal. He says Diddy left him abandoned during Hurricane Katrina, after taking what was his and offering nothing in return, not even a phone call. According to Chopper, it felt like Diddy viewed him as the problem, when all he saw was a man who took everything and left him broken.
When Diddy looked at me, he looked at me like, you bitch ass nigga. Obviously for what I spoke my truth. You heard me on all the dialogue, but he actually looked at me in disappointment. You heard me? He looked at me like I have no right to be up there. He looked at me like he was like, I don't know, it was eerie. It was like, how could you do this to me? But deep down, I looked at him like, how could you do this to me? You understand? Like the life that I had to live from you doing bad business with me, and I done everything right. You heard me with the bad boy situation. The songs that you stole from me, you know, from the Khalees, not Milkshake B, but Bossy B, to all that that I've done behind the scenes and on the scenes that you took from me and give me nothing. You gave me nothing. You left me to be down here in New Orleans, Louisiana, especially during Katrina, when I had to give my savings to my family. Be honest with you, from the Bad Boy South situation, I signed a $500,000 deal. Uncle Sam took practically 190 of that, left me with practically at least 300 and some thousand. When Diddy said me, because I wasn't trying to be on the road with him or be on the road at all to promote my album, courtesy of Katrina, because no one from outside of New Orleans understood the detrimental situation that has occurred to us. I didn't even understand it. You dig? I'm not used to a Category 5 hurricane. When hurricanes come here, it be Category 3, 2, like that there. It's that you can manage. You understand? I didn't understand the detrimental situation that was going to occur, and he didn't either. So I could understand why he probably was like, get back on the road. You dig? But I couldn't get back on the road. So I gave most of all my money to my family. After I asked this man, say, bruh, you owe me another $500,000. I signed $1 million deal. Give me the other $500,000 or at least a portion of that so I can make sure my people